I built this thing and I've been talking about it a lot. And I don't know how many people actually ever use the website features. Most people just either just play tunes from the thing or they generate PDFs. But I'm pretty excited about this website builder because it makes things very easy for. I mean, it's always been easy to generate websites, but this thing takes things to a really just a completely different level, both in terms of the scale of what can be built as well as just the appearance and being able to build beautiful responsive sites with essentially two clicks of a mouse.
Nice.
So Lucas, have you used the website builder in
I use
the?
it all the time.
Oh, okay.
So when my daughter plays whistle and I play the
Yeah.
pipes, and so when we're working on tunes to learn, I learned about it from the O'Flaherty's retreat turns. Before that, I was
Ah,
like
okay.
transcribing things into Muse score and then using Muse score to play along with.
Yeah, not fun.
And then after the O'Flaherty's retreat, there's the little link on it like built with this, and I went and I was like, oh, game on. And so for
Yeah.
the
Awesome.
I'm a high school teacher, and so for our music club, I've put all of our tunes into that for after school.
Oh,
And so,
fantastic.
Oh
like
my
whatever tunes
God.
we're using, I'll build it all out in that, and then I can share that to the students.
Oh, fantastic.
I can put a link
And
up
you
for them
know
to
that
download.
Michael built all of that,
Yeah,
right? The
yeah,
whole
Yeah, yeah,
ABC.
yeah,
yeah.
Okay, yep,
yep,
That's
yep, yep.
yeah.
fantastic. Well, I'm so glad to hear that. I love hearing stories like that because, I built this thing to be extremely flexible, but I only occasionally hear back from people who are either distributing websites distributing like PDFs for their local session or that sort of thing. So thank you for sharing that with me because
Yeah.
it's really nice to hear it's being used. So when you do the website export, I'm going to just go ahead and share which style, by the way, I'm recording this. And I might post it later if we'll see what happens. Let's see, I need to share. So, which style websites do you use just the full featured one, or do you do one of the other ones, or?
I've pretty much only used the full featured one.
Okay, so
Yeah.
perfect. So, yeah, so I was really thrilled with the full featured one. When I first came up with it because I thought, well, this is great because now I can come up with a way of doing. I'm going to just load up some tunes here. I really liked the one because you could build out a tune book with the drop downs and have the different instruments and all that, right? So this is the legacy. This is the legacy full featured version of it, and I thought that this is pretty cool, because you had your tunes and you had your instruments and all that, and that's probably fine. And it also gave you the full features of people could then do things like export a PDF directly from the website. But
Yep.
what I thought about was I've been doing a lot of work with how can I even describe this? I wanted to take this to the next level, and one of the things I wanted to do was I wanted to create a version of abcjs. That's the engine that's underneath all
Hmm.
this. That allow me to create experiences that leveraged all of the features. For example, there are things in the ABC Transcription Tools version of ABCJS, my version, that aren't in the standard release version of ABCJS. For example, all of my extended instruments, things
Yeah.
like just simple stuff like reverb, and I wanted to be able to essentially create other applications that could leverage the features that I built for the transcription tools, but not have them be the transcription tools. And so I built that. I'm trying to think the original reason I built it, because it wasn't for the website builder. Um, Geez, it's been like a month, so I can't even remember why I built it originally. But I have to go back and think because I built something else that was going to use it as a test. And oh, I know it was for the website builder, and the idea was that I wanted to have a way to do. So there's another package out there that people use for embedding called ABC to SVG, and they had this
Hmm.
nice feature where you could just like put your ABC on the inside the HTML for a website, and the library was able to kind of suck in the ABC from the page and automatically expose it and play it right on the page, kind of like abcjs can actually do that in sort of a way. But I started just playing with this thing, and then I realized that I could basically take my full-featured website builder source, which does website building, and solve it. And I could essentially say, well, here's what I would really like to have in this thing. I'd like to be able, for example, I'd like to be able to have different color themes, and I'd like to be able to have much more better responsive behavior on mobile. And I want to be able to have the user to be able to customize it a lot more, like visually. And I want things like tune search and all that kind of stuff. And it was just like, so I started playing with this idea of expanding the features of the full-featured website builder. But then what I essentially did is I took the source for the full-featured website builder and I handed it to ChatGPT, and I told it what features I wanted to add. And I said, make me a standalone tool that essentially did the same thing as the full-featured builder, but instead of using an embedded version of the ABC transcription tools, which is what the full-feature done, I want you to do it in place using this standalone version of abcjs that includes my features. And I did this just as a complete lark, just to see like, well, let's see what happens. And it was like, oh boy, this is amazing. So, I mean, it just created like something that was, probably completely unusable for most people, but then I just kind of ran with it. And I've probably spent, I don't know, I have to look to see when I first started on it, but I've spent hundreds of hours on this thing since then. And it's kind of exploded into something that's really interesting. So I want to show you so there is all kinds of information about this. If you go into the export website and then go into the user guide, there is a section now on the specifically on the website builder with a bunch of demo videos. But I want to show you a little diagram here, which is this one. So this is kind of the current state of the ABC transcription tools, in that the main tool is sort of the hub of a bunch of related tools. Rather than try to cram everything into the ABC transcription tools, particularly involving things like website building, where I may want to be able to easily extend it over time. I mean, in the last 4 days, I've added so much to it. If I were to be doing that inside the ABC transcription tools, there would be like a release every 2 hours.
Right.
It would be,
Yeah.
right. And so having things sometimes as separate tools gives me the ability to innovate and do updates very rapidly without disturbing or disrupting, or even taking, anytime I make a change to the ABC transcription tools, there's a certain amount of risk involved in terms of destabilizing the existing tool. So what I did was I figured out a way. So, the ABC transcription tools has these share links, and share links are the primary way that things get sort of sent between PDFs and the website and the transcription tools. And I learned about that it's possible if an application, for example, everything is on michaeleskin.com. And if I have a tool like the transcription tools and it launches another tool, and it's also michaeleskin.com, I can send messages between those two applications of infinite length, which means I can open up an entire tune book on the transcription tools and I can send that to another tool if I'm the one hosting that tool. So
Okay.
I built that technology into the link here between the transcription tools and the website builder. So the transcription tools can send like all of the ABC over to the website builder without having to like open the website builder and then open up an ABC file. And then I leverage that same thing for sending other things between tools. So for example, between, as I'll show you later, the session.org power tools and the website builder. And then there's just a bunch of other utilities that are around it. But the idea is that the transcription tools are still kind of the hub. They're the place where you do your editing. It's where you can do your listening and all that. But when you're finally ready to go, if you want to create a really powerful website, the best path now is to go into the website builder. And I will show you that in actual action here. So let's say I'm in the transcription tools here. And let's just say So I'm in the transcription tools here. I've got those 122 tunes loaded. Now you can just go to export website. Let me close up these extra tabs here. You'll see this new button here, open abcjs-eskin website builder. And what it's done is it's actually sent all those tunes right over to the website builder, okay, directly to it. And the website builder has all kinds of settings. So there's a settings area here. And I'm going to actually load up a set of settings that I've used for this tunebook before. So you can save and load settings. Let's see here. I have them in my settings here, and it's the Cultist default. Okay. And if we look here, these are kind of things you can set, like the title, subtitle, the footer, whether you want some text before all the tunes. You can set up sort of a basic playback sound if it's a simple website. This would be if you have the, kind of like in the full-featured builder, it would be the default instrument for the piano notation on the first option.
Yeah.
But this is where all things happen here. So you have all of these themes, and these are themes that are like different colors, different text colors, different background colors, just overall look, little graphics, that sort of thing. So there's something like 29 themes, and there's actually a theme. I wrote a theme builder that allows you to create custom themes if none of these work for you. That you can start with one of these themes and then you can modify it. So there's a bunch of them. This Irish pub songs one is kind of green with shamrocks and that kind of stuff. Bunch of options here, like do you want to have a table of contents in the website? Do you want it to have a search bar? Do you want to have numbers on those tunes? Do you want them sorted or just keep the original order? Let's see, what other things here? Do you want this is like, do you want the instrument drop down? And I'll talk a little bit about some of these other options here that have to do with large collection grouping. And then you can have a button on each tune that opens it in either the player, the editor, or the full screen view on the ABC transcription tools. Do you want little graphics between each of the tunes on the website? Yes. So all of these settings here, these are, you can just save them into a file. So if you have a particular style you're using for your website, you can just save them off in a file. And as a matter of fact, you can even, the way it works here is you can even, if you have a settings file, for example, I'm going to drag a different one here. I'm going to just apply this one. I'm going to open that again, and then I can actually just drag and drop. For example, if I have, let's say, a different set of settings here, I can just drag and drop these on here, and it will apply those settings. You can see now this is going to say King Street Sessions tunebook and all the settings for a different tunebook. And I'll go back to the Cultist tunebook here, and it'll apply them. And you can see now we're back to Cultist tunebook. I can click apply. So once you've done your settings, and the thing is that these settings, if I close this program and I just launch it again, it remembers all of the settings from the last time. So if you're just like working on the same tunebook, you don't have to, your settings stay persistent. You never have to, you never have to do anything. Okay, so once you've got all your settings right, oh, and by the way, there are a whole set of instructions here on every single feature, as well as how to, if you're into development
Michael,
stuff.
I am so sorry. I am getting pulled away here.
No problem.
I'm having a hard time. I will get. Honestly, I didn't realize what you were up to. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Love it.
Okay. Or do you want to just go do what you have to do and come back later? Or?
I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I'm honestly getting dragged downstairs and this whole thing going on again. So I will, but I'll catch the recording.
Can you
I will go on and
wait? Can you hang up for just like 2 minutes?
okay.
1 minute?
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Okay. Okay. I just want, because I want to show you the output of this. So all I have to do is just say build and save website. I'll open that one. And what you can see here is now we've got this whole website. All of the tunes, we can click on any of them, play them just by clicking on them. Go back to the top, pick a different tune, play it. And if you want to open it in the transcription tools here, that's going to open it in the transcription tools. Full screen, really simple. And then from here, you could like export it as a PDF. Right? So, I mean, couldn't be easier. And back to table of contents, you can search. So if we wanted to find a sport, so there's sport. Okay. And if you want to change the instrument, so these are the ones I build in. If you switch to these other instruments, it changes all of the tablature here. So if we wanted to find, let's say, the fairy hornpipe, and we play it. Or if we wanted to switch it over to, let's say, tin whistle. So notice that basically all I did was load the file, set up my settings, which you do once, and click generate website. So that's the kind of the gist of how most people I think will use this thing for for relatively, smallish websites that are just like this is 120 odd tunes. This is sort of the simplest case, I think, for a sort of average website. For, let's say, a cultist chapter or a session might use something like this. The next level is where, let's say, that's fine for 100 tunes, but it's not okay for 1,000 tunes. So I'm going to go ahead and clear the tunes here, and I'm going to drag a different set of tunes here. I'm going to drag the this is the King Street Sessions tune book. It's 1,006 tunes, and again, I could also load these settings from here. Manage settings, load settings, and I could load the King Street Sessions tune book settings here. And everything's already been pre-populated with the title and then all the styles. And I'll do a different theme here. I'll do, let's say, Space Age, just so you can see it has a different look. And in this case, it's going to include the search bar, but I'm actually going to include a different setting, which is search bar and search all button. And what this is going to do, it's going to create the search bar, but it's also going to create a button that will search the entire contents. And I'll show you why. It's going to take automatically under this large tune collection grouping, there's a bunch of options. And what this will do is it will create a second selector on the right that will go through the tunes and break them up into one of these options here. So they're just by groups of some number, and you set the number here on this drop down. It could sort them alphabetically by title, so it'll just group them by letter and put up to 100 tunes in each group. It can group them by rhythm, but not change the order of the names. It can group them by rhythm and then sort those by letter, or if you use what are called section headers, and there's details on this in the ABC Transcription Tools user guide, you can set up section headers and it'll use each section header to denote a section in the tune book. But I'm going to go ahead and sort it by rhythm with alphabetical subgroups, and I am going to add a player button to it. And I'm just going to go ahead and say apply this. And let me just check one thing, make sure the instrument is right. Okay, it's just grand piano, that's good. And we'll go ahead and export this one. And you can see this has a different look and feel to it. It's got the space age style. Again, there's 29 of these styles, and you can see what it's done is it's created the second selector here that has all of the tunes broken down by style and then subgroups by letter up to a certain number, up to 100 max, right? So it works just like the other one. If we wanted to find, just find a tune here that I know is in there, like Bobby Casey or whatever. Castle Kelly, okay. Works exactly the same. The difference being that you can change groups here. So if I know I wanted to find, let's say, Lark in the Morning, I would just kind of go to jigs H through P, and then I could search just, what it does is it searches just this section. So Lark in the Morning, and then there's Lark in the Morning. We can play it. Or if I wanted to change it to, let's say, the new harp sound, and again, the same thing open in the transcription tools right there. The other thing is that, again, this is 1,000 tunes. So, let's say I wanted to find the Mary Blacksmith, but obviously it's not going to be in the jigs HP section here. So I could just type Mary, and I can click search all sections, and it will go through the rest of the tune book, and it'll find matching entries. And if you click on that, it'll take you right to that section and right to that tune. So if I wanted to get back to Lark in the Morning, I could just say Lark in and search all sections. It gives me all the matches here. Takes me there. Let's do another one here. Let's say just say Lark. I'll search all sections. And so these are all of the matches it found. So here's the Skylark. Take me to that section. So this is navigating 1,000 tunes very, very easily. So let's see what else. So that's the kind of next level for people who have like really big tune books and want subgroups. I'm going to show you the torture test here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clear this, and I'm going to load a collection of 20,000 tunes.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, it's nuts. Yeah, this is what I use to actually as a torture test for it. Let me just get the size here. Okay, so this is one of the bigger collections I have. This is 20,601 tunes, crazy number of tunes. And I'll pick a different, let's see here, I'm going to just go ahead and load some settings that I had saved already for it with the title and all that. Yeah. And we'll pick a different style. We'll do Christmas. And you can see again, this is essentially the same settings as the other one. It has the rhythm tag subgrouping plus the alphabetical subgroups. And tune numbers, you can hide or show tune numbers. You can add additional information to go, like if you want to have something before all the tunes, there's an option here to add that. That's what I did on the Cultist site. I'll say apply, and I'll just build this one. Big website, 44 megabytes. Here it is, 20,000 tunes. And you can see that it's broken them all down into the different subgroups. So like here's reels, F. And other than that, it just works exactly the same way. You can, right? And again, if I wanted to find a certain tune, so lark, so you just say lark in, search all sections. It's found 9 matches across all of the sections, and then I can just click on that and it takes you to that section and that tune. So, I hope you can kind of get what it is I'm talking about now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a completely different beast. It's just like super crazy powerful for being able to do that kind of thing like that. And there's so many options now, so we have the themes. And then if you don't like the themes, there's another tool, which is, let's see here, let's go into configure setting. And let's see, I need to find to remember where I put the link. Here we go, theme builder. So there's actually another tool, which is the theme builder. And this is a tool that allows you to start, for example, if I wanted to start with that space age theme, it lets you set all the colors for, right. So if I wanted to change the, the header color or something, I could change it here and it gives you a preview. And I can even, this is kind of cool, I can even do something like, if you want to, for example, I was doing one that I wanted to create a Sweden one, so I can bring in an image like from, let's see, where did I put these? I'm trying to remember. I think I put this in. Yeah. So like if I wanted to do a website and I wanted to have the this gradient go from, let's say, the blue, I can put the blue in, I can sample the yellow, I can put the yellow in, and you can see now we get this theme that's sort of
nice.
That's sort of like that. And if I wanted to change this ornament here, I'm trying to remember how to do this. It's control.
Oh, so it's actually just one of the.
Yeah. So there we've got the Swedish flag, and we'll call this. We'll give this a name. We'll call it Sweden, and I'll just save this theme file. And now, if I go into the website builder, I can go into the website settings. I can load a custom theme. And now when I build this website, it's got
nice.
It's got the custom theme. So pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah, that's real cool.
Yeah, it's insane. It's completely insane. And then once you have the website itself, if you're into web development, there's a lot of information in the instructions here that explain essentially every element of the primary CSS, as well as how to add, like if you want to add additional instruments or take them away from the default ones that it adds. And if you actually go into the website source itself, so I'll open up a website here, one of the smaller ones ideally, like this one, okay. I'll just kind of open it up here. The actual, every one of those things is actually embedded in comments in the CSS. So it tells you exactly what you need to change if you want to, it tells you which items get affected by the particular CSS. And if you go down to the instrument, so for example, I'll just search for dulcimer. Okay, it shows you right here, like here's how to add, this explains how to add or take instruments out of this list. And then later on, there's a second thing you need to change, which is to tell it which do you want to use the tablature, and then which program you wanted to use for that, which tablature you want to use for it. The other thing that this is kind of cool. So anyway, so the websites themselves are self-documenting and easily modified if someone wants to do that. I wanted to show you one other thing here, and it's just an option. So one of the things that I added to the transcription tools recently was the ability to do a stringed instrument tablature without notation. So like historically, right, the transcription tools have always been able to do this style of instrument tablature, right? But there's a new option. And what this does is it gets rid of the notation and it just gives you the tablature. Okay, so that's a new option, and that's also available from the website builder. So I'm going to open up. Let's open up I'll just open up a small number of tunes here. This will be the sleeve notes polkas. And let's see, we'll pick up. I'll just go back and use I don't need to do that. Oh, you can drag and drop multiple files on here. So if you just have like a whole ABC collection, you can just drag them all onto this and it'll just keep appending the tunes. I'm going to load back that theme for the cultist book here. Okay, so in the style and options, you also have options here for the what display do you want by default for, and this could be like if you're just creating a website and all you want is mandolin tablature with no notation for the website. And in this case, I'm going to let's see here. Do I want the? Okay, I'm going to let's say it's just I want to do something for mandolin players. I'm not going to add an instrument selector, but I do want them to play with the mandolin sound. Okay, so I can set the main instrument here for the sort of default instrument. So I got mandolin, and that's all I'm going to set. So basically, I've told it to use this pup songs. Actually, I'll change that. I'll make it traditional Irish music. That's just a basic grain. I want to show mandolin tablature without notation, and I want it to play with a mandolin sound. I'm going to apply that. I'm going to build it and open it. And you can see now we have the tunes, but now they're showing up with the mandolin tablature, and you just click to play them. So there's just a few more options for being able to make standalone instrument tablature sites like this. So it can do guitar, it does mandolin, standard tuned guitar, and dadgad guitar as options for the tablature. So that's kind of the full picture of it, and it's like if I stuck all this stuff inside the transcription tools, it would just get very busy.
Yeah.
And there's just a lot going on here. This thing is almost as complicated in some ways as the transcription tools are, but it's really turned out. I'm very happy with it. It's extremely easy to use. The other thing that's kind of cool is there's another tool. I don't know if you've seen this one. There's another tool that I wrote a while back called the session.org Power Tools, and this is the thing that lets you. Do you use the session.org?
I do, yeah.
Okay, so you have like your submitted tunes and you have your bookmarks and all that. This allows you to essentially suck down any of those things. So you can find a member, like if I wanted to, I could find myself. I can search, find it. Okay, there's me. And it's populated this URL with my user URL on the session.org. And then I can say, okay, what do I want to get? Do I want to get my submitted tunes that I've submitted, or do I want to get the bookmark tune settings or tune sets I've created? These are all things you can create on session.org. Or do I want to get, now on the session.org, if you try to download your tune book, what you end up with is an ABC file that has every version of the tune. Which is insane. So there's an option here for like your tune book with first setting only. I wish Jeremy would fix that, but that's what I have. But I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to pull down my submitted tune settings, and all I have to do is to click fetch. and you can see on the left there, it's pulling down. It's found all of my settings on the session.org using his API, and it's pulling all of those down locally. And it'll be done here in a second. So I have 115 tunes that I've submitted over the years to the session.org, and it's done. So here's all the settings that I've done, and there's a new button here. You can save these. For example, you could save these. Okay, a couple things. One, you could just open them in the transcription tools. I'm sorry, that just launches the transcription tools. It's too big. It's too many tunes. I can't. In this case, can't send it, but I can send it directly to the website builder. So it's loaded. Here's my tunes on the session.org, and then I'll just leave the title the same, but I'll just build it. So now I have a website. This is a website of all the tunes that I've submitted on the session.org. Just that easy, right? So yeah, that's why that whole like ecosystem thing is really kind of where it's at. Is these things all talk to each other now, and everything's like one click away, and it's all really like super easy to use. I left the let's do another one here. Let's set the style back to standard notation, and we'll set the playback back to piano. And you can see, even though I launched it from the other tool, all the settings were still there.
The settings were the same, yeah.
Same, yeah. And things can get even weirder. So if you're in the transcription tools, let's say you've built one of these websites. I'm going to go ahead and clear this. You can actually point the transcription tools at one of your built websites. And you could always do that. You could always do that with the previous ones. A lot of people aren't aware of this. Like if you've lost the source code for your thing, but you have the website or you have a PDF you've created with the tool, you can actually, there's an option here which is import PDF website.
That's what I was missing, because I just kept going to the additional settings, going to the abcjs quick editor, and then copying and pasting them in.
If you have a website or a PDF you've already created and you're like, where I've deleted the original ABC, I'm going to just point this at the file I just created. And it's gone ahead and it's sucked in all of the tunes. These are my submitted tunes, and it's just sucked them all into the ABC transcription tools. And then I can do all the normal stuff with them if I wanted to then, sort them by, by title or whatever.
Nice.
So you can kind of go back and forth between the various tools. And I could, in theory, like, okay, let's do something insane. Let's go into the quick editor. The quick editor doesn't draw all the tunes. It only draws one tune. So in theory, I should be able to go into import website, local. I should be able to go into that Gavin Hennigan tune book and suck in the 20,000 tunes. Yep. So there you have your 20,000 tunes got pulled into the quick editor. Yeah, and we can go to any one of them and have them draw over here. So yeah, it's crazy. It's really, really, like there's always a way to get to where you want to within 2 or 3 clicks. Obviously, I use this all the time, but I just wanted to kind of show the capabilities of this ecosystem. Once you start tying in the website builder along with the import-export capabilities and the session.org power tools, you end up with a very, very powerful, set of possibilities. So.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, and you can get there a couple of different ways. Obviously from expert website, you can click that. Another way is because before I had the link between them, there's other ABC tools here. You can get to it from there. If you're on a particular tune and you're in the player, you can actually click here and you can open the one tune in the website builder. So, or if you're in the if you're on the share page here, like if you're sharing, this one will, even though you can't create a share link, it can still send the tunes over directly between the tools. So there's just a lot of ways to kind of get around in this now that I have this ability to do the full transfer of the tunes. So yeah, so like even though, like for example, when I was in the quick editor here and I import the, I haven't tried this. This is going to be fun. I can even point it at a remote website. So if I know the URL, like if I've got one on my TuneBook site, I could give it that. But let's say I bring in those 20,000 tunes So now they're in the quick editor. A lot of people don't know about the quick editor. It's a great thing if you're just messing with something. You don't actually need to see the notation. Like if you just want to sort all the tunes,
Yeah.
It doesn't have to redraw everything. It just it's sort of a one at a time thing. But now I should be able to. This is gonna be fun. I should be able to open that directly. Yeah. So it transferred the 20,000 tunes directly from the quick editor over to the website builder. So yeah, very robust, very powerful. I figure if it can do 20,000 tunes with rhythm categorization and sort of, it probably can handle almost anything. So I don't mind torture. Sure. I don't mind torture testing this stuff, and it makes me very happy that it actually worked because I honestly didn't know. So.